Welcome back to Dark Nights. We left off on the Crowder Road. Weird guy who likes to, sleep in our house. I decide to leave Crowder alone and leave for school. Before break starts, the teacher gives an announcement. Students, this is a notice from the local police, so pay attention. Due to recent events, the village will be placed under curfew. No one is allowed outside from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. That's kinda sus if that guy's kinda homeless. There might be dangerous people lurking about during these times, so stay home and lock everything. It feels like we're being treated like small children, but no one protests because of how serious the situation is. After the announcement, everyone starts to chat among themselves. I lean to the right and try to get Ryoji's attention. Ryoji, what exactly is going on? Haven't you read the newspaper? They found dead bodies dumped in an alley. The autopsy reports they died sometime between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Oh no, they woke up at 3 a.m. The same goes for the previous cases too, hence the notice. Don't you think it's a little too far-fetched to warn even the students? Apparently there's no pattern, and the next victim could be anyone walking around at night, student or not. Warning everyone is the best way to prevent that. I see. I don't intend to go out during that time anyway. Ryoji moves a little bit closer, lowering his voice. According to the statistics, your neighborhood is the most at risk. Have you not noticed anything strange lately? Not much, aside from being watched. There are investigators patrolling now. Investigators? I talked to one of them. He said everyone in my neighborhood might be on the target list and they are on high alert. I see. We can't be certain about that, but we can't ignore it either. Ryoji steps back when Akuya approaches us. Maybe he doesn't know. Correct. I already forgot the guy's name. Man, I have great memory. Hi guys, what you whispering about? Just about the recent disappearances and murder case. Oh, I wonder why these events are happening. It was so quiet and peaceful here. Yeah, totally. I bet it's an outsider. No villager would do something like this. Now you're just being racist. Outsider? Like the forest tourists? The forest tourists are still missing, right? Maybe the demon knows what they did and took care of it. Oh, Akuya, we already gave up on that idea. Besides, the demon won't get involved with things that happen within the village. The forest is his territory, just like a guardian will stay with their treasure. I don't think that's how that works. It was just a theory. Talking about theories won't solve the case, but we could probably find out who the murderer is. Miyako is playing detective again. The police is already working on it. Exactly, Miyako. That's why I'm gonna solve this first. Not you too, Ryoji. This isn't a competition. I'll solve it without you and your connections to the police. Akiya sighs deeply as she looks at us both of us. When class ends, Ryoji and I decide to study together. Since Karado's at home, in order to not disturb him, I think it's better to study at Ryoji's place. Come in and make yourself comfortable. Your place is smaller than I remembered. It's been a while since you came over. You were a lot shorter back then. Well, I take a seat and he heads off to the kitchen. He must be getting snacks. Or a knife. I dump my books on the table. After looking through them, I realize I have a lot of homework today. Mostly from history class. I guess Karado has to wait a little longer for dinner. Wait, he isn't a child. He can take care of himself. I need to stop worrying about him. Let's see, I'll start with history. If there's any subject I'm bad at, it would be this one. For once, we're learning about something interesting. This chapter is about village legends. Luckily, I'm with Ryoji today. He's more knowledgeable about this. You got trouble with history again? Ryoji returns to the room carrying a tray. On it are cups of tea and a plate of treats, which he sets down in front of me. He takes a seat beside me and looks over my textbook. Mr. Blanchett gave some hints to the answers during his lecture yesterday. Oh right, you were asleep. Fine, I'll help you with homework. The first section was related to our school. If I remember, there was an incident. I've also heard rumors floating around about a ghost. The story of the school ghost has many variations. but I'll tell you the true story it's based on. I found it in the police archives. Several decades ago, a boy was tortured and later murdered by his classmates in school. Only his legs were at the scene of the crime. They couldn't find the rest of him. The only suspects were children, and none were definitely linked to the murder, so the case was never solved. I'm shocked that children could do such a thing. What could have driven them so mad to kill their classmate? It's a mystery to this day. It's too late to dig into it now. The culprit's probably already died of old age. Anyway, they say the ghost of the victim wanders the school late at night. Because he has no legs, he basically crawls on the grounds, so when you hear shuffling sounds, he is nearby, or so the rumor goes. Is he an evil spirit that remains in the school for revenge? Probably. No one has seen him up close, but there are people who claim to have seen strange things through the windows from outside. Remember, if you hear ghosts, it's a demon. Run. The shuffling sound is hard to identify too. It could have been easily something else. That sounds interesting. I suddenly have the urge to explore the school at night. Did you think you're the only one who got the idea? I told you, nobody's encountered him. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get to see him. When you're unlucky, more like it. I rolled my eyes and turned back to my textbook. There was a photo on the page. Written in the small text under the photo is in memory of Class 1E. Leoji gives a brief description of the victim's appearance. I searched for the boy in the photo. He's standing at the far left as the shortest of the group. I'm surprised our school's reputation wasn't damaged. Records and textbooks all tell different stories. The public doesn't know what really happened. I had to search through the old archives and various other sources to find out the truth. Besides, it was a long time ago. People moved on. Let's look into the next legend, the Forest Demon. I have heard a lot of things about it, but they don't make sense. Is it Muraoni? The legend gets mixed up because it seems like people will believe anything they hear. Remember our trip from a few days ago? That alone was enough to start unnecessary rumors. The villagers thought we were crazy to visit the forest after the missing tourist incident. Our teacher thinks it's nonsense. I'm still not sure what to believe. So what do you know about the Forest Demon? It's an old legend, even older than this village. Many believe there's only one demon, but there could be more. Maybe 3. Their appearance varies, but they're often portrayed as a weird-looking animal with horns. Could it be an undiscovered species? Maybe. Or it could be that someone saw an ordinary animal and mistook it for a demon. You can't really disprove something like that, and the description is vague enough that it could look like almost anything. The legend says that they're evil, devouring every person who enters the forest. The devouring part is not meant to be taken literally. The demon would take something from you. Probably your soul. Not possible. In order to appease the demon and prevent disaster, the villagers built a temple deep within the village. I'm not sure how they managed to do it in the forest they feared, but take it as is. Oh wow, is Ganondorf there? I remember the crimson-haired guy I met during our trip. Ask Leoji if there are people patrolling the forest. Nope, there's no need to do that every day. After hearing this, I reconsider visiting the forest. We continue to chit-chat as we do our homework until the sun goes down. Thanks, Leoji. I finished my history homework with ease. In return, I help him with the other subjects. When I leave Leoji's place, it's already completely dark outside, but I still manage to get home by 9. Went up to the house. I notice the lights are off. It looks like nobody's at home unless Corrado already went to sleep. I'm home, Corrado. Are you there? Nobody answers me. Where shall I look first? Obviously, we'll check the kitchen. I go to the kitchen and turn the lights on. Seems he's not in here. The guest room. Haven't checked his room yet. Maybe he's sleeping. I knock on the door. There's no answer. He didn't lock his door, so I turn the knob and peek inside. He doesn't seem to be there either. Seriously, he's been here one day and the room's already a mess. I realize these are the clothes he's been wearing since I met him. He didn't bring any extra Lego to them when I gave him the guest room, so these cannot be extras. Wait, does that mean he's walking around naked? No, it can't be. I'm overthinking this. What are you doing? I hear Karado's voice behind me and turn around in reflex. He stands at the door with only a towel wrapped around his waist. Wow. You need to go shopping. Just for a moment, I just got out of the shower. Karado enters the room and looks surprised by the fact I cleaned up. Thanks for cleaning my room, though. You didn't have to. Don't think I'm your maid. This is my place and you should keep it tidy. And wear your clothes instead of leaving them all over the place. By the way, thanks for the meal. Alright, I left breakfast for him this morning. It's nothing, you're welcome. He smiles briefly. Something about his expression is so warm it catches me off guard. You should get dressed. Excuse me. I quickly avert my eyes and leave with burning red cheeks. Well, yes. You're standing in a room with a guy in a towel. I see Akuya and Leoji discussing something. Curious? I join them. Hey guys, what's up? Miyako, are you alright? Of course, why wouldn't I be? Leoji told me the police are guarding your street. I can't believe you're in so much danger. Nothing much has happened so far. You don't have to be this serious about it. Of course I'm going to take this seriously. Akuya pouts and looks over at Leoji. It seems he agrees with her. The mood quickly changes when Akuya asks about the investigators. By the way, have you seen anyone from our school? I heard a few students work as investigators. It seems like such a difficult job for students to handle. Besides, there's not enough work as the village is mostly quiet. The extras don't get paid. I'm curious as to what kind of person is keeping an eye on you. They better do a good job or keep you safe or I won't forgive them. It is best if I do not tell her about Karado, or she'll try to dig more information. I haven't seen any of the investigators as far as I know. Most guards don't reveal themselves. It'd make the residents restless. The idea is to set a trap. People should act normally. It's likely that students from the elite class took the job. It's not something to be bragging about, and they know a lot about keeping their identities hidden. Well, this guy certainly isn't. Not even our teacher knows a lot about them, so I can understand why they'd be chosen for the job. They're just abusing their privilege to skip classes. They're probably too busy investigating to even care about the school. I know, right? What about your brother, Kuya? He isn't an investigator as far as I know, he just studies at home. You should drag your brother to school sometime. It's been so long, I've forgotten his face. I've tried many times, but he can be so stubborn. Our discussion is interrupted by Mr. Blanchet calling us to our seats. We do not get another chance to speak until classes end for the day, when Akuya and Leoji depart for their school clubs. After saying goodbye, I pack my things and go home. Good. On the way to the lockers, I find a handkerchief on the ground. Its fancy design catches my attention, so I pick it up. There's the name embroidered on it, Roya K. I do not recognize it. Hey, that's mine. He looks kinda sus. A guy stands behind me, so tall I have to look up at him. I hand over the handkerchief when he reaches out for it. Roya, how do you... Ah, my handkerchief. Thank you for returning this, Miss Miyako. Have we met before? Who knows? Ryoa shows a mysterious grin and leaves. I stare at his back until he disappears from sight. I have never met this guy before. How does he know my name? Actually, Karado also knows your name, and you didn't tell him. Yeah, that's pretty peculiar. I'm home. It's quiet when I enter my house. There is no answer, so I assume Karado's gone out. I pass by the living room and freeze, hearing soft breathing coming from the couch. Upon stepping closer, I notice that Karado is lying there, his sleeping face peaceful. I like the beanie. He must have worked hard today. I should let him be. When I return, Karado's already sitting up, reading, and he looks up from his newspaper. He woke up so suddenly. Did I disturb you? Nah, I had a good nap. I just made some tea. Let me get you some. I sit next to him and glance at what he's reading. It occurs to me that the things about him I've yet to confirm. It's written on the badge that he attends the same school as me. Say, Karado, do you really never attend class? What class are you in? Normally you'd get a penalty for being absent. Let's see. I think people call it the elite class or something. What, so you really are? Why are you so surprised? Because you look normal to me. Was that supposed to be a compliment? I thought all elite students were supposed to be peculiar, although nothing's really normal these days. I'm curious, I hardly ever see them at school, and I'd rather hear what they're like from you than the rumors. I don't know. I haven't met everyone yet. Most of them are absent from the first day. If everyone is skipping class, why wouldn't I? You don't even know your own classmates? I just said. It's not that I don't believe you, I just find it a bit strange. I guess they have their reasons. I do remember someone. There's this guy named Shane. He's an investigator like me, so I've seen him around. Is it the guy in the cave? Sorta, but we're more like rivals. He's kinda reserved, doesn't talk a lot. You can say we're opposites, personality-wise. You'll get it if you meet him. I bet he's a truant just like you. Speaking of your classmates, do you know a guy named Roya? Roya. Is he in my class? I'm not sure. Even with a student from the elite class sitting beside me, I am not getting close to answers. You should interact with more of your classmates. Yes, Mom. I'm just trying to get you to socialize. Yep, sounds like a mom would say. Maybe you should take your own advice. Don't change the subject, we're talking about you. Why don't you talk to an elite student yourself if you're so interested? I'm talking to one of them, though. We spend the rest of the afternoon talking about school. Corrado has been in the elite class since I was a first year. He had been too lazy to attend class during that time, and was hardly ever around, which explains why I did not recognize his face when we first met. I have to admit, I wouldn't go to class either if the same rules applied to us. Corrado also mentions that we once met when we were younger, but I can't recall it. It must have been a long time ago, or he just didn't make a very large impression. I try to ask more about it, but Corrado waves it off as a fun fact and says nothing else about it. I didn't think you were actually serious. You should always take me seriously. Corrado rubs his head, looking around uncomfortably. I place my hands on his back and push him forward. Where's your uniform, by the way? Either I lost it, or it's collecting dust on my locker. Which I've forgotten the combination to. And the number. And its general location. Ah, yes. I look at him with narrowed eyes. I question how he even got accepted into such an exclusive class. I wish I walk Corrado to his classroom, since he cannot remember what that is either. It feels like I'm showing a transfer student around. After we take a turn in the hallway, I accidentally bump into someone. I stumble, but Corrado catches me before I hit the ground. Hey, Shane, we're to see you here in school. Okay, no, that is definitely not. You know, that guy seems extra sus. Rubbing my head, I glance up to face the tall person in front of me. His light blue eyes look down to mine. His cold stare gives me the chills. This must be the person Corrado talked about yesterday. He seems more like a laboratory worker than a student. Sorry for bumping into you. It's fine. His deep voice is distorted due to the mask. It sounds creepy. If I were alone with him, I wouldn't stay around for too long. Corrado moves forward and pats Chain on the shoulder. So, what are you doing here? Chain glances at Corrado's hand, then steps away from him. Just some business, you? Well, this kid's forcing me to attend class. At the comment, I puff out my cheeks and glare at Corrado. He had said it in a joking tone, but Chain just kept quiet. There's not much for you to do here, though. The target has escaped. Corrado nods in response, his expression unchanging. After those words, Chain takes his leave. That sounded like something important. I wonder what Chain meant, but I doubt Corrado will tell me about it. Why was he wearing a gas mask in school? It's not like the air here is bad. I don't know, might be a fashion choice. It's a fashion statement. The elite student's classroom is located in a different part of the school building, even though there's no one in the hallways. It feels awkward standing around when I have no business being here. Corrado, not wanting me to leave, asked me to keep him company for a short while. I only say yes to satisfy my curiosity. I expect the classroom to be completely empty, but a lone boy sits in the corner, a book in his hands. Oddly enough, he does not look older than 14. I look back at Corrado in confusion. Did we enter the wrong class? You look confused, but we are in the right place. I remember my classroom at least. It's usually pretty empty. That boy's Kachi, by the way. He looks young enough to be in elementary school. Maybe that's like a sibling of that other Roya. Yeah. When he stops in front of me, I notice he's even shorter than I am. I can hear you. The answer is no. I'm just physically 14. And I'm an elite student. Kachi answers all my questions at once with a straight face. Even Corrado remains speechless. Don't gossip about your seniors or make random assumptions. Go back to your own classroom. This place is only for the elite. He turns to Corrado, who's standing beside me. And you, if you're staying, don't disturb me. I'm reading something important. The boy shoots me a fierce look that makes me freeze in place before he returns to his seat. Did you hear that? Huh. Corrado chuckles, patting my shoulder. Don't take it personally. He's always like this. I didn't mean to offend Kachi, but he must have a really bad impression of me now. Honestly though, these elite people are weird. That boy. You should go back to your classroom. Thanks for accompanying me this far. I'll pick you up once classes are over. Actually, just wait for me by the lockers. Maybe I'll introduce Corrado to them another day, when the time's right. Alright, if you say so. After classes end, I immediately head to the lockers, which seems more crowded than usual. There's a group of people surrounding something, but I can't see what it is. Are you a transfer student? I've never seen you before. What has he done to attract so much attention? Just because he is normal-looking elite student? How do I reach him? The more Corrado sees me, he smiles and starts pushing his way to the crowd, and I self-consciously step back, trying to make myself stand out less, then turn around and walk out of the school. Good. Miyuka, you left so quickly. What's wrong? Don't tell me you're jealous. Why would I be? Corrado chuckles at my reaction as he walks beside me. So, had any fun in class? Kachi and one of the only ones around. I was stuck with the brat the whole day. It wasn't fun at all. Why don't you try to socialize with him? Who wants to be friends with a sharp-tongued little bookworm? Not a fan of children? Not when they glare murderously at me. I can hear you. We both turn around to find Kachi behind us, glaring with the same look Corrado was just talking about. I did not notice him at all. How long have you been walking behind us? Just for a short while. It's not like I'm following you. I'm going to the public library and it's also in this direction. I see you are still gossiping about your seniors. It seems you didn't take my word seriously. You're not even worth talking to. He stared at us blankly. I do not know if Kachi is speaking to the both of us or just me. The awkward air between us feels as thick as this brick wall. Corrado and I stand there, not knowing what to say, while Kachi just keeps walking, ignoring us. I want to kick him. I feel the tension fading away as he turns the corner. Cute as he is, he can be rather gloomy and difficult to handle. When we reach home, I settle on the living room couch and start doing my homework. Corrado just sits down beside me, browsing through a newspaper like he has nothing better to do. Don't you need to study for the upcoming exams? Nah, that'd be boring. Besides, I've already memorized everything I need to know for them. Well, genius. Since you had nothing to do, can you help me with history? Ah, sure. What's your question? There's a legend about the school ghost. What do you know about it? That one's... Corrado rubs his chin while looking down at my textbook. Part of the story is real. The ghost of the boy sometimes appear around the school at night. So you believe ghosts exist? Who knows? They might even be around right now. Do you? The doorbell rings before I can answer. Putting my textbook aside, I stand to check it out. Open the door to see Chain standing outside. Can I help you? I'm looking for Corrado. Hey bro, how'd you know I was here? The man in question suddenly appears behind me, a cheeky grin on his face. Chain crosses his arms and raises an eyebrow, as though to say the answer should be obvious. Chain pointedly looks at me, drawing Corrado's gaze. Heh, Miyuka, mind giving us a second? We're gonna talk about confidential work. Saying no is really not an option, so I leave them be. However, I can't let this chance To eavesdrop slide. I hang back around the corner, leaning against the wall. I can vaguely make out their conversation. Don't let your guard down. Something big might happen soon. Things are going according to the schedule then. Thanks for the warning. So how's the target? Can't find him. He must be pretty skilled to escape from you. You should be cautious. I didn't expect him to show up at school. I should patrol that area too. Whatever you want. By the way, there's something I want you to do for me. He goes silent for a moment. The murderer's always slipping past us. I'm starting to think there might be more of them. It's been so easy for him too. It's like they're always one step ahead. Do you think one of our own is involved? I hear nothing except Chain's deep sigh. The sound a bit creepy through his gas mask. Even if it's one of our own, I won't hesitate. I know you won't. You never stray from your goals. I wish I had your resolve. A few seconds later, Corrado returns to the living room. He takes one look at me and smiles mischievously. Hear anything interesting? I have no idea what you mean. It's okay, you can drop the innocent act. I would have told you anyway, just to keep you from stressing out about all this. I want to be honest with you. Corrado's a klutz sometimes, but he's sharp. He is an investigator after all. I have nothing else to say, so I simply shrug. You'll be safe with me around. Actually, I'm more worried about missing out on the action. Nope, people like you should stay home. People like me. I mean regular, untrained people. Just stay at home and don't do anything unnecessary. I flushed at his comment. I understand his logic, but he makes it sound as I would only get in his way. You would. Well, he can't stop me from intervening if anything happens. My answer is no, no, and no. Stop suggesting weird things. Oh, come on, it's just for one night. There's no way we're sharing one room. Go sleep on your own. You eavesdropped on us back there. You heard it's getting dangerous. If I'm right beside you, it'd be easier to... I pushed Corrado out of my room and slammed the door shut. I'm sure Corrado was just messing around. No guard would ever ask to sleep beside their target. Then again, most guards don't live with their targets in the first place. Why does he need to stay literally right beside me anyway? Is he that bad at his job? Makes him even more suspicious. He himself could be the murderer for all I know. Feeling tired, I slip into my bed. Right after I close my eyes, I hear a small voice. Did Corrado stub his foot against the wall or something? After a while, my door creaks open and Corrado sneaks inside. I have not fallen asleep as not much time has passed by. I should really get a lock for my door. I stay still and listen for his footsteps. When he seems close enough, I grab my pillow and throw it at him. He steps aside in an instant, dodging it easily. There's an innocent expression on his face as he picks up my pillow, throwing it back at me and sits down in the chair in front of my desk. Corrado props his arm against the desk, looking in my direction. Is it okay if I watch you from here? It seems he'll persist no matter how many times I reject him. Since this is a part of his job, I decide to stop complaining. Fine, do what you want, but don't try anything funny. There's an extra blanket over there if you're cold. I'm good, thanks. Want me to tuck you in, sing you a lullaby? Want me to throw you out the window? Corrado chuckles, my light tone having made it clear I was kidding. Okay. Sleep well, Miyoko. Corrado shifts in the chair, taking a more comfortable position. He flashes me an innocent smile once he's all settled. I shift to face away from him, and I quickly fall asleep. Maybe he's watching you. I wake up to a strange noise. I still, for a time, waiting for the sound to abate. When it doesn't stop after a minute, I sit up, rubbing my eyes to take a look around. Corrado's chair is empty, and I don't see him anywhere else in the room. Maybe he went to the bathroom? I hear shuffling outside as if something's being dragged over the ground. Huh. Choices. Ignorance is bliss. Achievement, going for the safe option. I have no interest in whatever he's doing. I close my eyes and go back to sleep. Strangely, the shopping continues and stops in front of my room. Hear the door open slowly, as if the person is carefully sneaking in. Maybe he just wants to check on me. My thoughts change when I hear irregular breathing. That is not Corrado. I bide my time listening to the intruder's breathing as they approach my bed. Within range, I roll to kick him, kicking out even as I hop off the bed. Surprisingly, the person dodges my attack and steps back. Once I face the intruder, I realize we met before. It's the handkerchief guy from school, Roya. He picked the wrong person to mess with. You're sharper than I thought. What do you want? It doesn't look like he's armed. And how do these people keep getting into my house? And where's Corrado when I actually need him? He's just a student from my school. I don't think he'd do harm. He raises his arm, taking my hair strands between his fingers. You were pretty cute up close. I couldn't get my mind off you since we first met. Your delicious scents led me all the way here. Okay, this guy's a creep. I'm so not buying this. Why don't you come and let me show you how to have a good time? Fed up with his manners, I drop civility and grab his tie. Dude, you barged into my house just to flirt with me at midnight? Get out of my house and try to sweet talk with someone who cares. Unflinching, Roy's lips form a mischievous grin. His aura has changed since the last time we met, as if he is a different person. I don't know what he's up to, but I have a feeling there's something up his sleeve. I release his tie and slap his hands away from my hair. Leave, before I make you leave. He licks his lips but does not reply. I want to run, but he's between me and the door. Before Roya can try anything else, Corrado enters the room. Miyoko is something. Corrado, where have you been? Miyoko, is there something I should know about? This isn't the time to be confused, help me. Right, hey you. Leave Miyoko alone. Haven't you ever heard that three's a crowd? Now run along like a good little boy. You've got to be kidding. What do you... Instead of responding, Roy leans forward, pulling my body into his arms. Effortlessly, he carries me to the window, opening it one-handed and jumping out with inhuman speed. I hear Corrado cry out, but he's too far away to do anything. Does Roy want to kill us both? I squeeze my eyes shut and prepare for a rough landing. I cling to his chest like a kid about to be thrown into a bathtub. When nothing happens, I open my eyes. Roy stands with 2 feet on the ground, still holding me tightly. How did he jump from my height with someone in his arms and remain unharmed? Is he even human? Surprised? Put me down. Yeah, not happening. Roya walks along an empty street. No one's around this late, so I don't think screaming would help. Makes me wish I wasn't so small and easily picked up. I try hitting his neck, but he sees it coming and throws me in the air. I thought he intended to drop me, but catches me right before my body hits the ground. Even though he's moving swiftly, I realize he is injured. His sleeve is ripped and there are blood stains on his jacket. He must have already been like this before he entered my room, but I didn't notice it before. Why are you kidnapping me? A good villain does not reveal his intentions. Judging by his grin, it can't be anything good. His silence makes me more flustered. I recognize this place. It's the mansion from the other day. What is Roya up to? We go in through a door in the backyard and into a dark hallway. My heart throbs nervously. I want to get away, but on the other hand, I want to know why Roya kidnapped me. At the end of the darkness is a large room with only moonlight illuminating it. Despite the house being abandoned, this room is well maintained, with hardly a speck of dust anywhere. Welcome to my hideout. Roya says with a prideful smile before putting me down on the large couch. With his hands now free, he loosens his tie and starts to unbutton his shirt. I stare at him with wide eyes. What are you doing? I know you're an elite student. Doing this will ruin your reputation. What are you thinking? Oh, were you thinking I intended to ravage you? I see. You're not as innocent as you look. Roya grabs a few bandages off a table and patches a wound around his torso. Notice more scars around that spot. What happened to you? Quite a lot. Each scar has its own story. Do you want to hear some? Roya points to a rounded scar on his left side of his chest. Some stranger decided I was a vampire and tried to stab me with a wooden stake. I know I'm handsome, but mistaking me for a vampire is too much. In the older depiction of vampires, they're pretty ugly. I'm not that old. Is he joking? Where Roya patches himself up, I sit on the couch. Beside the couch and table, this place is kind of empty. What if Roya really lives here, or is he just staying here temporarily? Once he's done, he puts his shirt and tie back on. You were the one behind those kidnappings, weren't you? I don't know what I've done to you, but how can you? I didn't bring you here to talk to you. I brought you here to bait Corrado. He's your private guard, correct? Your prince should come here to rescue you soon. Why would you have business with him when he doesn't even know you? Whatever your plan is, leave me out of it. Be quiet and sit still. I roll my eyes and stand up. I assume the passage where he got in is the exit too. I'm not going to sit around and wait for Corrado. I can get out of here on my own. When I head to the exit, I feel my wrist being grabbed. You can't go there. I won't be your hostage. Play along or what? Excellent idea. Rory pulls me to him as he grabs his tie. I should have tied you up earlier. I didn't really mean it. I kick his knee, causing him to lose balance. I use his chance to break free and run. When I reach the entrance, I try jiggling the doorknob. He didn't lock it, so why isn't it opening? Rory picks me up and throws me on the couch. The next moment, I feel my body being pinned down. When I look up, I stare right into his eyes. If you'd listen, I wouldn't need to do this. As if I'm gonna listen to a kidnapper. I'd rather die than get tortured and drag Corrado into this. I won't torture or kill you. Rory lets out a sigh and loosens his grip. And we'll end things off here before he actually has a chance to explain himself. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget the like button, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. As always, goodbye.